law firm of Davis and Davis. We're not a real law firm.
Go ahead, grab a beer, a glass of wine, sit back and listen.
All I need's a lobotomy and some tights. You wear tights? No, I don't wear tights. I wear the required uniform. Tights. Shut up.
Welcome to the Davis and Davis Show, davisanddavisshow.com.
I don't think you're using the right microphone.
Oh,
now you are.
Hold on.
That was weird. It sounded like you were across the room. But yes, everybody, welcome back. Thanks for stopping by. You're good now.
Yeah, but why was it pulling in sound from somewhere else?
Did you have your cough switch on before maybe that switch is just bad.
It
leaks.
I'm beginning to think that switch is bad.
Yeah. You'll just have to hit the mute button and
davisanddavisshow.com.
The davisanddavisshow.com for some excellent merchandise.
Did you go to the website and see that I posted videos with that last episode?
No. How is it?
Dude, this website is so fucking awesome. I can do anything to it, and it's just incredible. What do I have going on this week? I worked 7 days straight. Today is my first day off.
Nice.
Do you know what I did today?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, dude, yeah. There's the disaster video. And oh, yeah, heck yeah. All those videos. Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. We'll get better, people. It's only been 4 years. I have to do this now because I was laughing my ass off when I wrote it. All right, everyone. I gotta start the timer too. Jeez, otherwise it'll be 45 minutes of living shit.
Welcome to the Davis and Davis Show's marital and sex tips of the week. I have nothing. Absolutely nothing. Honestly, if you have been listening to our tips and using them for the past month, you will have found we're full of shit. We here at the Davis and Davis Show have the best marriages a fat 50-year-old could get. Get your head out of your phone, go out, and meet people. You crazy, sorry-ass losers listening to this show. No wonder you're single. The hole in the tree out back might find you attractive enough to let you slide your slinky into, but a human being just sees a loser listening to a stupid podcast. Shit, even Carl can find a woman. This has been the Davis and Davis Show's marital and sex tips of the week.
Sage words of wisdom.
Shit, even Carl can get laid. That should tell you something, people.
Oh, shoot.
I don't know. The shit just pops into my head. I started writing and I couldn't stop. I was just like, okay, here it comes.
I got diarrhea of the brain. Just let it flow.
Just let it go, man. Let it go.
What you got there in that big old cup there, Scotty?
This is a big old cup. And I had off, so I started a while ago.
Yeah, it's going to get a little slurry tonight, isn't it?
Of some New Amsterdam vodka which is
okay.
flavored. This is a special edition coconut version.
Oh, that sounds tasty.
So I'm doing coconut vodka on the rocks in a 30-ounce fucking glass, and it's a fabulous night. I'm happy.
Are you mixing it with ice at least?
Well, there's ice to keep it cold.
No other mixers other than that.
What the fuck, man? 30
Pineapple
ounces.
juice would be the bomb in that thing. Holy cow.
Funny thing is that I filled it up totally with ice. And then I started pouring. And I started pouring. And I kept pouring. And I bought 2 bottles of 750 liters. By the time my cup was full, I was down below half.
Did you at least have a big
Does
dinner?
that happen? Oh, I guess I could talk about this. I've had a diverticulitis attack for the past 3 days. So I quit eating 2 days ago.
This might be, we might have to pick this up tomorrow. Oh my.
Ooh, my. AI is on. I'm just waiting for it to look at me and go, I have no clue what the fuck this meeting's about. Yeah, so that's what's going on here. How about you, man? What you got going?
I found me a little Bowman Brothers Pioneer Spirits Virginia Straight Bourbon Whiskey small batch. Was that 45, 90 proof? So, you know what? This is a little bit more expensive than not Envy. What's the stuff I've been drinking lately? Okay, brain cells are gone. This is awesome. Anyway, nice little bourbon. A little bit of the sweet larceny. That's what I usually drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get the little caramely notes in there. It's not overly complicated. It's just a nice, smooth drinking bourbon. I like it a lot. It's a pretty bottle too.
I ain't KIP.
It looks like that. Oh, you can't see that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Looks great.
The audience is extremely happy that you shared that. You know, there is a website that I know of. It's called davisanddavisshow.com, and there's supposed to be an alcohol review section on there.
That neither of us have done for like a year and a half.
Because I've been drinking the same shit over and over and over again. Guys, there's only so much that I can do. I'm one guy. Got another fucking 30-ounce cup there too. Got them. Jesus. What else is going on?
Not much, man. Work's been up and down, slow and fast. Nothing much going on there.
I have another interview tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Well, you off again tomorrow, or you're just going after work?
7 days in a row, I better fucking get 2 days off together. First day is just recovery. Yeah, have another interview tomorrow. Actually, this is a little bit in my wheelhouse. It is a lighting company looking for a showroom manager. And
like sales?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what most people don't realize, like, I ran my business for 30 years. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, that must be great, you know, going to see all those shows and all that. No, 3/4 of my job was on the phone selling shit, trying to get shows. I mean, the shows were only about 20% of my time. the rest of the time, because you're constantly having to pull in more and more and more work, especially the more employees that you get. So, yeah, it's sales is my wheelhouse. That's I could sell as long as I believe in the product.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
I can sell anything. Now, I tried to sell cars. I tried to sell Chevrolets.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. The product was crap. I mean, you saw the quality. We had cars show up and molding was falling off of it. How am I supposed to sell this?
It's a feature, sir.
No, the feature is us putting it back on. If we had had cell phones with cameras back then, do you know how much content I would have just from walking in the shop? Yeah, all 8 of these cars just came off of a transport.
And 8 of them are fucked up.
Why is that steering wheel sitting in the seat?
No, jeez. Even the good brands are not immune to badness. I don't know what went on with this car. I'm going to send you a picture. I was walking through the Acura show, not the showroom, but the Acura shop.
Yeah.
And they had this thing gutted.
Oh my God.
When I say gutted, I mean, they left the carpet in there. That was about it.
There's nothing left in there.
I should have taken,
except for the tools to take everything out.
I should have taken, because next to it in the next bay was all the stuff they had taken, all the chairs, the steering wheel. Oh God, I don't know what they were chasing, but apparently, when the pilot came out in 17, yeah, they had an electrical gremlin, and I had a picture of that. They gutted this, and I actually posted it on Reddit in the just rolled into the shop section.
Yeah.
And that post blew up. It was like, yep, chasing electrical gremlin on a new pilot. And they're like, fuck. One of the guys in there was like, I'm a shop foreman in a Honda store, and I showed this to my guys and said, I'm going to do this to you on a Friday.
Absolutely insane. One of the segments that I'm doing in the B block, actually it'll probably be the C block, is Kelley Blue Book came out with their list this week of top cars for 2024.
Okay.
Your company made almost every list.
Yeah, we're usually up there. It depends on who you're looking at. Like I've seen some magazines where it was all Toyotas, not a single Honda on there. Like they were taking Buick above us into categories. I'm like, really? Whatever. It's just opinions. I'm like, whatever.
Well, this is Kelley Blue Book, and 3/4 of the way that their list is made is for resaleability.
No.
And Honda is still, for an average car, the highest with resale value.
It's up there.
None of BMW didn't make any list with Kelley. And I went through all of them. While the resale value is high on a BMW, the maintenance cost is so high that it negates the...
Yeah, eats into the resale value a little bit.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know anything about that.
No, I don't know. Had the top down today, though, man. It was
nice.
It was 79 degrees here in Dallas today.
Nice. What, it's quit raining finally?
Quit raining. Yesterday was butt cold until about noon. The day before, we were fucking frozen all day with 35-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeesh.
I did not have a penis anymore, man. I looked down. I was like, what the hell happened to you?
Little turtle got back in his shell and said, nope, okay. Guys, you seen all the freaking rain that California got? Like Death Valley has a lake.
Yeah, I was seriously hoping that it would just fall off of the edge of the United States, but they're still there.
I don't know if my dad's far enough in that if it did, like, would he might have the new beachfront condo where he's at.
Just let the oceans rise a little bit more. Yeah.
Anything in the world news?
And now Scott Davis with the Gaza Strip update.
They're still fighting.
That was Scott Davis with the Gaza Strip update.
A little bit of bamboo as well.
Goody.
Just wait. Yeah, we did the world news there a second ago, and in the B block, just wait. I found a guy.
You got a guy? My guy's name is Cecil.
That absolutely represents me 100%. Yeah, it's I have fun shit planned for us. Donald Trump got hit with a $350 million settlement in a civil case for pretty much doing the same thing that every businessman I've ever met in my entire life does, which is overinflating your assets for a loan.
The flip side is most of those guys aren't trying to run for president, so you know.
In one of the polls that I looked at, okay, so I'm a businessman. I've done the exact same thing many times. When I was purchasing the new lighting rig, of course, I had $2.5 million in assets.
Yeah.
To get the loan.
Who doesn't?
I've done the same thing. I was looking at Wall Street Journal this morning because I am a businessman. I still read the Wall Street Journal. There are over 10 mega companies based in New York right now that are looking at relocating.
Really?
Well, a decision like this makes every company that works in your area that you're covering, which is New York State, liable. And I don't like Trump. Please don't get the feeling that I like Trump. That's not it. That's not it at all. But when you start to politicize, or when you start to weaponize things like this, it is such a huge downward spiral. Not only is this going to make it to where corporations are not going to want to be there for fear of pissing someone off, but it's also going to make the legitimate companies not want to do business there. Yeah, and I'm not saying his company was not legitimate. I'm sure that they did stuff by the books.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But for a settlement like that with a corporation that paid off the loans that they got 100%, there's no victim, there's no nothing. It makes no sense to me. As a businessman, it makes no sense to me. Now, I knew that New York was fucked up to begin with. I'd done enough shows at the Jacob Javits Center, and I was actually gonna bring up the spreadsheets from one of the shows that we did, showing the cost of doing a show in New York as compared to doing a show in Cleveland, Ohio. And what most people don't realize is that the cost of doing a show in New York, because of all the rules and the laws that you have to follow there,
Could be 10 times the cost.
10 times what it would cost me. I could do a Sylvia Brown show in Cleveland at the Wolstein Center for $25,000 less than I could do it at the Jacob Javits Center. Yeah. Javits said, I have to tell this story. Yeah. Jacob Javits Center, convention center right on the Hudson River. Gorgeous place, great place to go do a show. They have a lot of room. It's great. First thing, you show up to the Javits Center, you're not allowed to pull your truck in. You have to fight with them for probably 2 hours to finally be allowed to let your truck in, back it up to the dock. Okay, you get it to the dock. There's a union that unloads your truck
at whatever pace they want to unload your truck at, I'm guessing.
Oh, it gets better than that. They put 2 people inside the truck. Those 2 people are never allowed to exit the truck. They push the boxes out. The guys on the loading dock grab the boxes. They take them to the room that you're going to do the show in.
Sounds okay.
So now you're paying for 2 guys to unload a truck where the guys that I have with my show could unload the truck. Are you getting where I'm getting here? Get inside. The stagehand union at the Jacob Javits Center is not run by IATSE.
Say what?
Nope. It is run by the Electrical Union of New York City.
Okay.
So we go to set up a show. Have 2 video walls. We have 120 foot of pipe and drape to hide everything that's backstage. We're going to make this look pretty, right? Union rep comes up to me and goes, "We're the electricians union. We don't do pipe and drape."
Okay, so we can put it up.
But you brought half as many people because you know that you're going to New York City. They are the stagehands. They are the ones that are supposed to set up. They don't touch. He literally looked at me and said, "If there's not a cord on it, we won't touch it."
Great.
I proceeded to take every extension cord I had and duct tape them, gaff tape them, to every fucking pole. I then went back to the union steward and said, they can put pipe and drape up now. He looked at me and went, we don't do pipe and drape. There's no electrical outlet on it. I said, come here. Look.
There's a cord.
What's that? That's a cable. It's electrified, right? Yeah. Put up the pipe and drape.
Which ingratiated yourself upon him to no end, I'm sure.
Oh, they love me. And we would do like 5 shows at the Javits every year. And every time I walked in, he was just like, we'll do it. All right. Yeah, it's time, ladies and gentlemen. Here it comes. It's time for the Davis and Davis Show Motivational Minute.
Don't fuck the people at the workplace. It is most terrible idea. As much as you want to do it, don't do it. Control the fire burning between your thighs. Office romance is fun, but when it ends, and it will end badly. And then you will be sad, because not only will you have to find a new lover, you'll have to find a new job, because it will be awkward as fuck seeing this person every day. Better not to shit where you eat. Find love elsewhere. That is all.
Do you hear that, Scott?
Oh, wait. This has been the Davis and Davis Show. Production quality is going down fast.
I think it's the nut behind the wheel.
There's somebody behind the wheel here? I thought this was a runaway train about 3 years ago. 207 days until Put-in-Bay. Thank you, Tidbit.
Got my vacation request already in. I'm set.
I have flights already. Oh, and I'm flying first class.
Nice.
I had enough points. I was like, yeah, sure.
Why not?
Not flying first class there, flying it back. Flying it there, I'm Southwest, which I had enough points. Living off those damn points. And I'm spending the night at a hotel in Cleveland when I get there.
Yeah, you said that a couple weeks ago, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Said you got a couch, I can come up.
With points. There is a couch, a hideaway couch. If you want to come up, come on up. Yeah, we could head out and get some fish and chips that night.
Hey, wait, what's this behind me?
I do believe that is the exact. I think that's JP McIntyre's.
I think it is.
God, I am so looking forward to that.
We'll get there. They'll be shut down and be like, no.
We closed due to COVID.
No.
So I'm trying my darndest to get Art on. Art does not answer text messages that quickly. Art might, well, after meeting Art, he might not know how to use a phone.
he can fix a 50-year-old car, but smartphone.
Don't think that is in the works for him.
he just doesn't care. One of the two.
But we will be having the art show at some point in time. And ladies and gentlemen, I know from experience, we're not going to talk about anything else. It's just going to be art because the motherfucker will talk for 4 hours and I'm going to have to edit that whole motherfucker.
You ain't going to hear Scott and Burke talking at all. We're just going to hit the go button on him. And
now we do have a special guest for you here. He'll be
30 minutes.
Yeah, he'll be on in 30 minutes. Which has to do with Put-in-Bay. Has to do with Put-in-Bay races. We're going to discuss everything that's coming up for the upcoming season. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Cool.
There's a lot of changes at the Put-in-Bay race, and I'm kind of excited for it. I'm kind of a little bit nervous for it to see what we can do to enhance the race without impeding on the importance of the history of the race. The history of the Put-in-Bay race actually goes back to 1940 something, I think.
Yeah.
And I just everyone knows that Burke and I are into vintage car racing, especially British cars.
It's a sickness.
Sorry, it's a
disease.
You know, we like to rewire stuff all the time. Yeah,
That's when you have a British car. That's what you get to do.
Yeah.
Unless you just want to start from scratch and wire it your damn self.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. One of the guys at work, well, he doesn't work there anymore. 1972 Ford Mustang. Yeah, Mustang.
Okay.
No radiator right now. I'm actually going to go over to his house and help him get a car that has not started in 15 years.
No, jeez.
I'm going over there to help him get it running again. One of my friends from NASCAR actually sent me a new carburetor.
Wow.
To use on this car, which is going to take it from a single barrel up to a quad barrel carburetor. But he said it'll match up. It'll match up fine. I'm like, that's fine. He was like, he's going to get about 7 miles to the gallon, but
it's going to sound awesome. He's going to go fast.
She's going to burn well. One of my other friends from NASCAR is actually getting me an R&E radiator for
those are nice. It's
car.
A good company.
So and honestly, it's totally stock right now. Just the addition of the racing radiator and the racing carburetor, that motherfucker should gain probably 200 horsepower. I mean, he's going from a single barrel carburetor to a quad. We might have to do some modifications to the engine afterwards, but
bigger exhaust would be the first thing right off the rip.
Yes. Yeah. bigger exhaust, bigger headers.
Yeah, headers, exhaust. Yeah.
We talked about redoing the cylinder heads to expand the exhaust ports. Because the exhaust ports right now are, I think they're 2.5 inches by 3 inches tall. Now, smaller than that. They're like 1.5 wide by two tall.
Something.
Yeah. So that's not very big. If we can open those up a little bit, we'll be able to push more fuel through, which will
lower his gas mileage. It's a Mustang. Who cares?
He's 78 years old and just wants his car to work again. I said, I'll make it work. Ain't gonna be pretty, but it'll work.
Might scare you a little.
Gonna be a little bit loud too. Because right now, all he's got on it are headers.
No exhaust.
None. So he's got headers on it. I talked to my buddy at Brink's Racecraft down here, and he's going to make some X pipes for him. Custom made X pipes with stainless.
Oh, geez.
And but it's going to be straight with no muffler.
Straight pipes. Jesus Christ. That'll wake the neighbors up.
Straight X's, man. That thing is just. So looking forward to that. All right. Yeah, Joe Rubino. Love you, buddy. That car's going to be a fucking beast. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
That time.
It's time for Burke's Spoken Word.
The sky was gold. It was rose. I was taking sips of it through my nose. And I wish I could get back there, someplace back there, smiling in the pictures that you would take. Doing crystal meth will lift you up until you break. It won't stop. I won't come down. I keep stock with a tick-tock rhythm. A bump for the drop, and then I bumped up. I took the hit that I was given. Then I bumped again. Then I bumped again. And I said, how do I get back there to the place where I fell asleep inside you? How do I get myself back to the place where you said, I want something else to get me through this semi-charmed kind of life, baby, baby. I want something else. I'm not listening when you say goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to Burke's Spoken Word.
Didn't know that song was so dark, did ya?
So deep. So deep.
We got to take a break here, folks.
Yeah. And when we come back, we'll have like 10 minutes before our special guest. And I will tell you our Twitch update. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back.
One night, me and the crew hit the road on a mission to slip free brew and go fuzzy flounder fishing. Cages on the hi-fi and the keg was bottomless until we brought Skip-opotamus and Daddy gonna get some probably underage and dumb. And everybody knows that the daddy eats his young. Lupus in the lavatory making a big stink. Mason up the toilet seat and pooping in the sink. MSG's tanked up and whizzing in a cup. Waiting for a sprinkle genie to come and drink it up. Cause I'm the one bottle Willie with the 12-horse ale. After that I get silly like soupy sales. Now it's midnight and I'm completely boofy blitz. A 6 of Schlitz and the Juber Manischewitz with my beer tin and glasses. I'm ready to biddy battle. I'm hungry like the wolf, but I'll end up tending cattle. Cause you're pretty when I'm drunk.
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 And I'm pretty fucking drunk.
Here she comes. A funky fried cutie. Mr. Jimmy Pop Ali is gonna get some booty. Cause I'm Mr. McFeely with a speedy delivery. You think I was a ditch away, this chick was digging me. But maybe I should check and see if this is where I wanna be. Hey Lupus, is she cute?
Yeah, for a pygmy.
Oh, what do you know? You're probably going home alone. And it wouldn't be the first time that I gave a dog a bone. Plus beauty. It's only skin deep. It's in the eye of the beholder. My beholder's about to tweak. I could tap that barrel. In fact, I know I can. It's menage a trois. You and me and Heineken. Cause you're pretty when I'm drunk.
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 And I'm pretty fucking drunk.
Even Burke looks good drunk.
It's the only way I look good.
So, before we have our special guest, I need to say this. Jerry, one of my employees at the said named golf course that we can never name, Jerry has been in the hospital for the past week.
What happened?
Well, he was having trouble breathing. And I'm not going to go into like major details. I'm going to keep his privacy a little bit. A little bit. Talked with him on the phone the other day. They literally pulled 2 liters of fluid out of his left lung.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And I knew something was going on. This guy golfs twice a week. He works, and he just wasn't the same. Anyways, They pulled the fluid out of his lungs. He has some issues that he's going through. I just want him to know that we are thinking about him here at the Davis and Davis Show. And I really hope that you get over what you got going on.
Get well soon, Jerry.
Yes, sir.
So that song that I did for you, I had no idea that it was about meth. I had no clue. I just like, it's a happy, upbeat song. I want something, it's like, it's all happy and shit. A couple of other songs like that was coming across a list, and like Van Halen's Jump is supposedly about suicide. She Bop by Cyndi Lauper is supposedly about masturbation. Every Breath You Take by the Police is about stalking and obsession. Apparently Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen is an anti-war song. And Total Eclipse of the Heart is Vampire Love. I'd have to like get the lyrics to that one and like dissect it, but I'm like, okay, why not? I'll go with it.
Vampire Love.
Vampire Love.
Yeah, you. I don't even know what to say to that.
So, remember I talked about the Florida Man Games recently?
Yeah.
Apparently, there is another competition, the FAWC, the Freestyle Alligator Wrestling Competition. You should look that up and take a peek and see about it.
Please welcome to the show, the great one, Bob Kansa.
Oh, yes. We have the big Bob Kansa back on the show.
Greetings, everybody.
How you feeling?
I am struggling. I'm being honest, I'm struggling. Now, I am a week out of back surgery. So my head is in an odd place. It's sort of like, damn, it's been a week already. It should be feeling better. And then the other side of my brain saying, dude, it's only been a week. So I really don't know how to feel at the moment.
So what was the surgery that you went through?
Well, basically what ended up happening is I had a herniated disc. And that disc was pushing up against my spinal cord and making my body in pain. So they went in, gave me a shave and a haircut, and I guess they took the part of the bulging disc out that was bulging, and I was supposed to be pretty much good to go. But we'll see how that works out. I'm pretty sore. My back itself is getting better. Where the incision was and everything like that, that's doing fine. Matter of fact, where they cut me open seems to be okay. But the leg pains and everything are still there, and maybe it's just going to take a while. I've heard various things. Some people go like, "Oh yeah, I went out of the place and I did the waltz going down the street." And then I have other people like, "Oh yeah, I went in for 4 more operations." So it's like, where am I in between there? I don't know.
Well, I'm hoping that you get better soon. Are you still planning on racing this summer?
Well, as far as I know, yes. So what ends up happening is before I was under the knife, my engine was under the knife. So I was working on some stuff on that, and we're building a new head for it and everything. And I've got parts in, and I was there's a porting, polishing, all that mechanical fun stuff. And I was working on that, but it kind of came to a halt. And I can't do any lifting, not supposed to do any great amount of bending, so on and so forth for a while. So I'm kind of in limbo with it. And then we got to pay for this back thing. So there's that. Yes, the plan is I plan on going racing. Will I be able to race in the spring? Probably not. It's probably going to be till midsummer till I'm up and running. And we got to get the engine back together and it running, and we got to get the back together and it running. So, the plan is, yes, we really want to go.
Now, most of our listeners already know about the head gasket issue that we dealt with at Put-in-Bay.
Yeah.
Which is what you're still kind of working on now, correct?
Well, what we're having to do is we're putting together a whole new head, and we're
Yeah.
going to go with a completely different head gasket, which is honestly a bit more expensive than we were working with before, but it's supposed to be better. My son took the old head in to the shop today to see if they could go ahead and do a repair on it, and they're like, no, probably should not do it to this head because of the way I'm using the engine. If it was just sort of like a stock, regular, whatever car, yeah, that's fine. But the stresses I'm putting everything under, not a good idea. So
Well,
we're
Alex
starting
could
fresh
use
with a head.
Alex could use that on his car if he wanted to. Then.
Well, we built him his. We built
okay.
him one. So yeah, he's underway, and he's got one going together for his. So that should be good. He's coming quite along with his car. He's got all the brake lines run, and he's been doing the wiring, and heck, he's got blinkers working, and he's got a whole
Damn.
his gauges are doing this, and gas gauge goes like this, like this, but so he's coming right along.
It doesn't run yet, but the gauges go like this.
yeah.
So it's ahead of 95% of most British cars in the first place. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's being worked on though, so it's all coming along. But so we're putting a new head together, and we're gonna put a new gasket underneath it, and we'll see what happens. But unfortunately, I can't use the old one, so it is what it is. I think I'll keep it around though.
Another paperweight for the garage. Oh, good.
Right.
Yeah. Well, okay. Part, yeah. Mary's like part art, right? So
put it out in the garden. Yeah.
Little. Yeah, we could put daisies in it because it's dead.
Exhaust ports are great for growing flowers.
It is what it is. So, but yeah, life is coming along. I'm trying to heal, and of course, work doesn't appreciate that. They're just sort of, work is great. Are they listening? No, work is great. They're just sort of like, hey, yeah, go ahead, take the time you need to heal and everything like that. But is it done yet? So
come back tomorrow, right? Right.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm working from home, and I am currently putting in 8 to 10 hour days. So,
jeez,
Lord.
Well, the problem is working from home, everything is dead slow. It's just sort of like when I'm at work, you're connected right up, and so things go zing, zing, zing. They move right along. When you're only 40 miles away, it ain't working the same, that's for sure. And it just, what takes me a second on the computer takes me like 10 minutes now. So it's just like, it is. It's painful. And, what's worse with, the Bob vision here is I get easily distracted. It's sort of like, okay, well, I got to wait for this. What's over here? So it is. It kind of gets tough. So, but we're doing best we can.
So, with that being said, I heard that you are taking a much larger role in the Put-in-Bay race.
Yeah. Well, we were asked, which was kind of cool. So this past year, we were asked to go and help with a few things, and one of them being it was a like a driver's spectators party, okay, or a crew and drivers party that they have every year, and it's just sort of like a big wine and cheese event. They got tents and everything like that, and it's all put together, But for the last few years, it's been an afterthought. So it's sort of like people are like, oh, geez, we got to get this done because people are going to come to it, So we volunteered and said, hey, yeah, we're busy like everybody else, but, let us put our hands in it and we'll go ahead and help out. Well, it ended up being really good. And people sort of loved it. And Mary put together this fantastic spread and everything like that. And we put together this little mini auction, which was just sort of off the cuff, no big deal. And it all worked out really nice. We were dressed in some of our little bit vintage gear. And people were just sort of like, wow, this is not like what we've had before. And they were, very enthused about it. So a couple of people approached me and said, hey, Bob, you're not getting out of this now. This is your fault for doing a good job. This is what you get. So we're doing that apart again, but what we were asked to do is try to bring some vintage influence back into the race too. Now, it's met with some mixed reviews. So there's a race over in England. It's a huge event. It's like a week-long event. It's called Goodwood. And there's a lot of people that have gone to the Put Bay races have gone to Goodwood. And it's Goodwood. It's been a big influence. These guys are like, oh, this is fantastic. They got these phenomenal, one-of-a-kind vintage cars. And there's, hundreds of them to go there. But they've got like a whole village. And you guys have been to Renaissance fairs, right?
Right.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
well, this is sort of like Renaissance fairs for vintage cars, so they got this village set up, so on and so forth. Everybody dresses up and so on, and it's a really, really cool event. I've never been to it. I've seen videos of it and everything like that. It's awesome. But everybody's sort of like, gee, would like to bring some of that here. How cool would that be? And I'm like, okay, we're game. Let's jump in on this. So the thing is trying to take the whole race back a little bit in fashion wise, and just sort of the way it's set up now. In 2024, you have things that you never had to have before, being safety wise. It's just sort of like everything has to. It's completely different. I mean, first of all, you're not racing on the streets. We're racing at the airport. And the other thing would be is, it's just, just the way that the spectators would have to be separated and safety things have to be separated. And, it would be a bad thing if a car hit somebody. So there's, in modern racetracks, everything's set up for that. There's big guardrails, fences, so on and so forth. Well, they doesn't necessarily have that. But, in the past years, it's been more of a driver's competitors through event, for people that participate. There's always spectators that come. You guys have come. You guys enjoy it. Yeah. So that's been great. But as you've seen, so you get a couple hundred spectators at the most, and that's that. Just because the way the whole thing is set up, you can't go nutty with spectators. It's never going to be NASCAR. It's never going to be like this Goodwood thing, and they don't want it that way. But they want to go ahead and bring back some of the old flavor, and some of that is just people kind of dressing up. Nothing mandatory. People don't have to. It's a voluntary thing. But if people can, it's kind of cool. Wearing, for example, our crew always wears the
checkered
suits.
jumpsuits. Yeah.
Yeah, the jumpsuits. So whenever we're working on the cars, we're wearing the suits and everything like that. And then we have matching shirts that are very vintage and influenced. And just stuff that we wear during that week generally has a vintage influence, whether it's an outfit or a dress Mary wears or something I'm going to wear. It's sort of like we could still get everything at Hollister if we wanted to, and you can still find it all at Goodwill. But it's just sort of like, yeah, hey, they wore this stuff in the 60s, and there's not a huge difference, unless you want to make it that way. And then you can start wearing the tweed suits, wear the sporty caps and knickers or whatever you want to do, just
who's the guy with was it a TR4 that's done up as the original race livery of a Le Mans car?
Right. That's Rod Wiggins. Awesome fella. And it's actually a TR3 that he's done a Le Mans, sort of a Le Mans replica car of a TR3 that would have run at that time. The car is absolutely awesome. Nothing that you can actually race because it doesn't have the safety equipment, but the look and feel of the car is sort of like, wow, it came right off the track, And he and his wife dress up, and they're dressing very much period. Nothing crazy or anything like that. They're not like the gentlemen in their jalopies or anything, but they always look cool. They look the part and they fit their car. And that's what we're sort of asking a lot of people to do if they want, the event is always very laid back, and it's always been that in its whole history. It's just a very laid back, friendly type of environment, so on and so forth. So you're not going to find all that many people in suits and ties. However, on occasion, you might. And they're just trying to bring a little bit of that back. Hey, if you got a tweed sports coat and a cap, wear it. If you want to put together something cool, wear it. And we always do, and we're just encouraging. So that's part of what we're doing, is that part of it. But we've also done some graphics for the event.
Yeah.
Hopefully coming up in Cleveland, they got the Piston Power Show. Which is it's a huge event, and they've had everything there. We've heard of them having tanks and bomber planes and everything that they'll bring into that. Now the IX Center where they hold it, the place has changed, so I don't think they're going to be bringing in the big machinery. But there's always completely cool stuff, and it's all piston power. Very nice. So they're hoping to go ahead and have a display with the Crawford Aviation Museum.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this past year, 2023, the pace car for the race was provided by the Crawford Aviation Museum. Yeah, and that's really neat. It really wasn't anything special, so to speak, but regardless, it was them participating. They volunteered a car, and that was all good. So to have a museum like that, which Crawford Air and Wheels Museum, it's phenomenal. They've got just epic stuff there. So to get them to participate and maybe have them bring a few cars and everything like that is all the better. They're supposed to have a display at the Piston Power Show, and then they're wanting us to tag on to that. So that could be cool. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to miss it because of my back, but I have a volunteer sitting in the chair right over there. So we'll see if Mary can volunteer a few hours for that and everything like that. Part of the hey, Mary, do me a favor, grab one of the cards here real quick. So
that is April
show
5th
and tell.
and April 6th.
Yeah, we have show and tell here. So they asked me to make up a card. It's that'll work. That'll work. Okay. Usually I don't have my props ready here, but
Very nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So for the people at home that can't see that,
oh, I'm sorry. Oh, well,
it's a nice placard for the 2024
sorry.
Put in Bay.
It's okay, ladies and gentlemen. We'll post it on davisanddavisshow.com.
Sorry about that. I completely forgot.
It's all good.
Yeah. Hey, I'm on video, so hey.
It took us a hot second to get used to.
It's all good. So, what has the response been from the car owners about the vintage aspect?
It's been unusual. It's people are taking two different sides to it. There's people that are sort of like, oh, this is a great idea, we love it, and it's just sort of like, and there's some people like, oh, this is like Goodwood or something like that. And we're like, oh, careful, we're not trying to do that. We're just trying to bring some of that aura back into it, and that's fine. And so there's people all about it and like, oh, this is great, and we can't wait to go now, and it's like, oh, this is really enthusiastic going. On the other side of the coin, we have people like, what's this about? Why aren't you focusing on the racing? Why aren't we focusing on good competition? So on and so forth, and all that, and they're just kind of causing, for lack of better terms, there's a little bit of drama going on, and it's just like, no, hold on. Yeah, our whole point is the racing is going to be as good as ever. We are doing everything we can to try to bring in the vintage good cars. Now, good is a matter of perspective, I suppose. But bringing in the old MGTCs and TDs and trying to bring some old open wheel cars, some things that a lot more cars out of the early 50s and stuff. We're trying to get them all here, and at Focus is always that. Last year there was a debate over a few cars that were running out of their league, so to speak. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, when we were having cars that it's like, a little faster than they should, and it's sort of like, is that really vintage? And it ruffled a lot of feathers. Now, the whole thing is in vintage racing is no matter what, you're going to find somebody to race against,
Yeah.
And that's really what it is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the guy with the $200,000 Jaguar XKE didn't necessarily want to race against the Beetle. But they were matched, and it's sort of like, what's going on there? So they're trying, but everybody knows this. They're working on it. They're working on the classes, so on and so forth. The other thing is a lot of people, there's old school and old school and new school thoughts about all this vintage racing. One is, people are like, oh, vintage racing. You bring out the old cars, you do them as original as possible, safety concerns in mind, and you go and you race, and that's fine. The problem is a vintage car is what, 25 years old?
At least.
Right. So a vintage car, I mean, by law, legally or whatever like that, if you go get your plates, it's 25 years old. Right?
Yes.
You can get historic plates. Well, guess what?
Stuff
The
breaks.
Hondas are vintage now. And Hondas, the Hondas are vintage now. And these cars that people don't think of as vintage cars theoretically are. And what you got to do is, and this is a sobering fact, the guys that are 85 years old that have these old MGTCs or whatever I'll use that for an example, or an old Alfa or whatever it is, they are retiring out by whether they want to or not, and a lot of guys they're passing away,
Yeah.
we're losing them. So what ends up happening? Well, you have to get younger people enthused. You have to get them to want to participate. Okay. Well, there's not a whole bunch of younger people that, they're only 30, 40 years old. Yeah. Is that young? Well, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like
compared to us.
Sorry.
Compared to us, yes, that's young.
Well, yeah. So it's like, is a 30-year-old really going to be as interested? And what did you grow up with? The cars you grew up with are vintage to you.
Yeah.
Did these guys grow up with an old, some old, 50s Alpha or a 50s MG or something like that, or, an old Abarth or something like that? No, they didn't grow up with these things. In a way, I barely did. I'm not saying I'm an exception, nothing like that. It's just a matter of, hey, my car is 2 years older than I was, but I love it, and it was still in my era, and so on and so forth. But to a lot of these guys, these cars aren't in their eras, and a lot of them are going to collections, so on and so forth. Now you can still get parts and you can still run them and they still do great, but it's just like the interest in them isn't there. So what does vintage racing become? You have, unless you want it to die, unless you want to lose it, you've got to kind of move around with it a little bit. It's like a lot of other things, you've got to change with the times to a certain bit. And there's guys fighting that, so a lot of people are just sort of like, hey, you should really focus on bringing the old cars. So we're like, hey, we're just trying to keep this thing alive.
Let me give you a little sobering fact. My first Honda, my CRX, is a 37-year-old car now. That could be run technically in the vintage race.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Those cars can, and there's one other factor that's coming into all this is vintage racing is expensive. We all know that. And that's why I may not be racing in the spring. Because I'll be paying for back surgery.
Okay, before you go any further, racing is expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's vintage. ARCA racing was expensive.
Oh, yeah, it all is.
Racing is just not cheap.
Right. So The other things that are coming into light here is all of the racing insurance, the companies that cover racing insurance are changing. The people that were being the word I want to use, underwriters, is that correct? The underwriters for all the insurances and everything like that, they're wanting to drop racing. And racing, vintage racing, SCCA, a lot of these, a lot of vintage, but other parts of racing are struggling, looking for insurance. Well, that's coming with a price. Okay, so what happens is prices go up. It's the admission fees are going up a little bit. Not a lot, nothing's huge, but they're all going to go up. So what do you want to do? Well, let's give people more of a bang for their buck. Let's add some things to it. Not take away from the racing, not take away from getting the great cars and great competition out there. But let's add some little pieces to it that make it more attractive. And that's what we're doing with some of the vintage fashions and vintage fare, and just, trying to include a little bit that more in it, sort of like it makes it more unique. It makes it more special. It's not just going anywhere to go see anything. It's sort of like, hey, you're going to get the flavor of this. You're going to get the vintage cars. You're going to get kind of, you get to dress up, and you get to participate, on that level. And it's being worth more. It's more of a bang for the buck.
I think if you could get at least the car show people on board, even if it was just that event was vintage clothing and stuff like that, I think it would start to spread to other, to more of the race days and stuff like that. But that might be a good springboard,
Absolutely. And you're right. And that's what we're focusing on right now. Matter of fact, what we're planning on doing is Mary and I are going to sponsor some little awards. So we're just going to go ahead and give away some little medallions. No big deal. Burke, you'd be familiar with this. You've seen those medallions at our pumpkin party.
Yes.
Right. We're just going to cross out with a little X and put in racing. We're going to keep it budget. But we're going to go ahead and do something like that. Just some little memento of, hey, you gave an effort and this is kind of cool, and what you did is fun. So we're going to do a little bit of that. And we'll present that at the car show, what they consider their wine and cheese gathering.
Yeah.
And we're going to do that. If somebody wants to do something beyond that, awesome. Hey, when you're all in your cars, everybody's still wearing your Nomex, you're still wearing your helmets, and that's all going to be the same, And if you got to jump underneath your car, it's up to you whether you want to wear that old jumpsuit or not,
Well, if you need somebody to sponsor those awards, the Davis and Davis Show is here.
Well, if you'd be interested in that, we would love to have you guys on board with that. A matter of fact, we are still waiting for a decal for the trailer.
Okay, I actually have 3 decals coming towards you. Actually 4. 2 for the trailer, 2 for the car.
All right.
If you use them, you use them. If you don't care. I got them made. I had to change my graphics program to a Vectorworks to get them cut. And that's why they did not show up. But they are sitting in my living room right now.
Okay. Well, get them sitting in my living room.
Yeah, I'm going to get them there.
Okay, and that's cool. No, that would be awesome. And we'll talk to you guys offline about that. But it's going to be it's going to be just a little bit more than pocket change, really. We do this on the cheap, but we're still doing it to be meaningful.
Well, like I said, I am totally willing to put the money in to sponsor the trophies and stuff.
That's awesome. Now, here's what I need from you guys, though.
Yeah.
Here's what I need most, Leo.
Sure.
You guys are planning on coming back to the race next year, right?
We're there every year.
Cool. So you guys need to get your press outfits on, right? We need to see those fedoras with the little press tag in it, right? and look like you're ready to go ahead and count some names.
I am all up for this. I do Civil War reenacting. This is in my wheelhouse. I love this stuff. Burke and I can definitely come up with outfits, and I might actually be able to come up with some old-fashioned microphones for us to use with our recorders.
Yeah, stuff like that would be cool. And what it does is little things like that. I mean, they're big to you, but they're it all adds to the ambience. You know, nothing's in anybody. You know, you're not putting anything in anybody's face, so to speak. But just being around that way, and sort of like having those people. You know, you guys are a couple of plants. We'll plant you there. You know, and it's sort of like. It's like, hey, what are these guys doing? It's sort of like, oh, they're kind of dressed up like old press reporters or something like that. What are they doing? Well, they're doing a show, you know, or you know, whatever your guys are doing, recording, talking to people and everything, you know. And it's just sort of it's little pieces like that that'll add to the ambiance of the whole thing. And you know, we don't expect that next time we go down, you know, next year is going to look like Goodwin does or something like that. We don't need that. You know, but you know, a few people we know are planning on stuff. They're going out and buying some stuff. You know, we're finding stuff, suggesting places to go ahead and get things, and it's just we're trying to make it easy for everybody. You know, and if you don't want to, don't.
Listen, you have to start somewhere,
right?
With it, and just building up what you're building right now. This could become a big thing in 5 years. It could be a very fun thing for the enthusiasts that like to recreate the 40s and the 50s.
Right. And that's a big part of it. There's vintage races all over, and they're all great. They're fun. You know, cars are great, so on and so forth. But you don't get that atmosphere at them too much. You know, they're serious. They're fun. They're serious. You know, a bit of both. They're good racing. You know, but it's like, where do you go to get that? Even, you know, there's another event not too far from us. It's called the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And it's a big deal event. But from whenever I talk to somebody about it, they go, yeah, it's a big deal event. And they have a couple like charity ball things going on, and they bring in some cars, but they're still not having that atmosphere necessarily, you know, and they're perfect for it. You know, they're in the center of Pittsburgh. They got this huge park. You know, you don't have to worry about people coming to an island, you know, or whatever like that. You know, it's just a matter of it's easy for them. But they don't quite have that. So where are you finding that? Monterey in California? Well, that's not close, you know. So what's around here? There's vintage races, but where do you get to dress up and do those things and participate a little bit more like that? A lot of people bring their cars to vintage races, but you know, they're bringing them to hang out a little bit, they watch stuff, whatever. But to participate and be, you know, a little more inclusive to it, you know, it's like it's like our Pirate Fest that we're at. You know, how, you know, you could go and watch these people do stuff, or you could dress up and be a part of it. So that's what we're encouraging, you know, dress up and be a part of it.
The thing is that it's kind of like Key West. Key West has the festival that they do every year where everyone comes and dresses up. The first 5 years of that, nobody showed up. This is a great opportunity for younger people to get involved in vintage car racing, which is a I mean, I grew up building British sports cars.
Sure.
I helped Burke fix his. I helped Carl fix his.
You helped me fix mine.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for the Put in Bay race to become a reenactment situation at the same time.
Yeah.
And still have, I know that you have people that are upset about is the racing gonna suffer and all that. The racing's not gonna suffer.
Right.
You're still gonna race. You're still gonna race. It's
just trying to add a little flavor.
Yep.
It's just that you're taking it back in time. And I think that people are going to be highly receptive to this.
It's going to take a little time, but whatever.
Yeah.
We got this.
The first 3 years, you're going to be sitting back going, nobody's doing this. Nobody's doing this. And then all of a sudden, it's going to pop. And you're going to have hotels filled on Put-in-Bay Island.
Yeah. And, and all those are goals. The businesses are pretty much in on this. They're liking the ideas, and that's fine.
Well, yeah, it extends the season another 2 weeks.
Yeah, there's definitely that,
And I'm surprised because, like, at work, I will, like, if I find I'm talking to somebody who likes old cars, they don't even know about this race.
Right.
I'm like, oh my God, you've got at least come up for the car show.
Yeah.
And then they may stay and watch the race. And then, it's just going to keep going from there.
Yeah. Well, we tell a lot of people, hey, just come up for this, come up for one day if you can. Now, the Put-in-Bay races are during the week, and that's always going to be what it is, and that's always going to work against the event. But they have to do that. They can't run it during the weekend because they can't close the airport now. That's just the way it's always going to be. This is not like Sebring, So, the airport's got to stay open on weekends, and that's fine. But at the same time, and there's a lot of things to figure out. As time goes on, this gets more popular. We're going to need more volunteers because we're, right now it's, every organization we know is the same. And what is that? You have 20% of the people doing 80% of the work, or whatever that is, right? That's just the way a lot of it is. And it's no different with this racing organization. I mean, there's nobody paid here. Everybody's volunteer.
Yeah.
Which is totally an amazing thing. They've got this huge event. I mean, it really is. Fantastic cars, great racing, and it's all volunteer. Nobody's on a payroll. Nobody's getting paid. I don't know of any other organization like that necessarily. So I mean, these people are doing all this out of a huge passion. It's just a fantastic enthusiasm. It's a huge passion that they're involved with.
I get the funny feeling that Scott and I may be flagging this next race. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, those opportunities exist.
I just sent Art a message.
Okay.
Well,
guess what? Art went ahead and says, "Hey, Bob, do you know who this guy is? Because he sent me a message and I just don't know." And I'm like, "Oh, Scott? Yeah, I know him. Yeah. Him and his friend Burke are just great guys, and they've come to the last couple races. And
we had breakfast. Tell us, the guys we sat and had breakfast with, for crying out loud. We sat for a half an hour with this dude.
Yeah, well, if they're like me, I can't remember tomorrow.
I'm gonna send all of this freaking audio to Art.
Yeah, but I told him, I said, yeah,
shit.
Whatever they sent you, these guys are genuine. They're cool guys, and they're, they love coming to the races, and they've done it, and they're planning on coming again. So you guys are going to be welcome. You're going to be there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get Art on the show next week and get him to kind of talk about the shit that we go through as marshals and stuff like that. But as well, the guy's got some great stories about history.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. Well, he's been involved for a long time. He drives a Volvo, what is it? A Volvo
the wagon. 160 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the sports car station wagons. It's it's sort of like you don't see them. And he sleeps in the back of it. It's just like, it is there's vintage racing for you. You
It-
know, you come and you sleep in the back of your car. Nah, I'm sure he sleeps in a hotel room.
It
But I know that, but he marshals at other tracks too. You know,
it
And
didn't
so-
drive for like the last 2 days of the show. So
Well, you'll have
sorry
that.
for him. Yes, he is a marshal at Mid Ohio.
yeah. So I mean, the guy knows his stuff. That's why he's at Put in Bay, and he loves this stuff. You know, and you know he involves himself with it. So a little thing. So Put in Bay Sports Car Races, for those of you who are on Facebook, they have their own Facebook page, and you can see some of these discussions and involvement and who's doing what on like the Facebook pages. Of course, the sports car races also have their own website, and that's something that's got to be worked on. It's current, it's good, it is very informative. It needs to be upgraded a little bit, but it's a very good website, and so you can follow things around there. Matter of fact, registration is open for you racers out there. So if you want to drive, now there's a lot of classes. It's not just racing. They got exhibition classes, and there's a lot of different things you could sign up for as far as that goes. And so you're welcome to go ahead, and anybody interested, take a look. Go ahead and register. Registration just started. It's it usually takes a little while to get a lot of the cars going, and a lot of people invest and everything like that, but by the end of the year, they're going to have plenty of time.
So, have you heard any news on our Devlin driver, the guy
No,
from
personally, I haven't.
PA?
I have not. So usually when somebody is lost, it is posted that somebody is lost. And when otherwise, no news is a good news situation. I'm guessing he's fine and everything like that. He may have finally kind of retired out of it and all. Carl Goodwin, he is trying to retire out, so on and so forth. He's been racing his blue Sprite for a long while.
Yeah.
But he's in his, I don't know. He's like 85, 86, maybe something like that, and it's sort of like, he's like, kind of slowing down. I might just go ahead and, sail my boat a little bit here now. And okay, so, but I mean, he wrote a book about the whole Put in Bay races, a very historical, good book. If guys have ever seen it.
What is it?
Oh, Carl Goodwin wrote a book. It is the complete history of the Put in Bay races. All the way up to what would be like the 90s, actually, when they had a small resurgence. They brought back like a small street autocross thing at that time. And the book stops there. But the book is, hey, go grab the book.
I don't know where it's at.
The book is in the shelf. I'll show you the book, which is worthless because we're on radio. But yeah, he wrote this book, and where he got these pictures from that are in the book, I have no idea. Well, it says there, right? But I'm just saying is, trying to access these pictures, it's phenomenal. And the history and the names of people that would have had, the names of the people that used to be involved with this race and everything like that are just phenomenal. The whole Stoddard family,
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were very involved with this. And so on and so forth. As a matter of fact, one of the things we're doing this year, I should say we, the whole organization, which I'm a little part of now, Porsche is going to be the honored mark this year. And every year they do this, where they go ahead and bring a, maybe it's here, Mary.
I can't find it.
Unless it's under here somewhere. Every year they sort of honor a certain car. My Sprite was honored, a few years ago. And, they'll do like 1 year's like Triumphs. Last year was Japanese cars. So a lot of guys brought their vintage Datsuns out. That was really cool. But this year it's Porsche. And Porsche has they have the course lap record of the old course.
Oh.
Yeah, it was an old Porsche Spider that they had, and I think it was one of Stoddard's Spiders or something like that. and it will always hold the class or the overall record for the old street race. That is cool what it is. So they're bringing Porsche back there, and then they're already planning for next year. So, it's like this year's still doing what it's doing, but next year they're going to use Elva. They're going to have Elva for the honored one, and that should be really cool. Elva made a number of street sports cars, but they also made a lot of sports racer cars back. And they're interesting. Most of them are absolutely gorgeous, and they run fast.
Yeah.
So they're going to bring, and so they're already for 2025. They're already planning on these Elvas coming. So and that'll be cool, really cool. They're a quick car. They're phenomenal competition, and rare. You're not finding them at every car show or everywhere you go.
1972, my favorite Porsche ever made, the 914.
There are 914s, and you've seen them. There's a handful of 914s that run Put in Bay. Some of them are pretty darn good. Some of them are a lot more stock, and these guys will run them just in even the exhibition. So that's the cool thing for your listeners, sort of like that may find this interesting. You could bring your car and you could put it out on that track as an exhibition car, and you don't need all the safety equipment. Now, you're not racing, but you're still out there and you're still having a blast, So those are all options.
I don't know. I've seen many people in the exhibitions try to race.
Well, you get two cars together on the same track, and
then
there's rules and regulations in place.
It's like when you're boating, you're always racing the guy next to you. It's just we're not racing, but we're racing.
Yeah,
Right.
Then you
See
get
that kayak?
the
We're
la-la
gonna get
car.
it.
La-dee-da, la-dee-da.
The Lala cars, they're so much fun to watch.
Oh my God, best part of this. All right, Bob, we got to get out of here. We got to take a break. Thank you for coming on. Is there anything else that you need to get out before we go?
I really appreciate the time you let me go on here, and thank you. We're just going to go ahead and try to recover and repair, get the car back together, plan on going racing this year. I appreciate that. And for those interested, got Facebook, look for Put in Bay Sports Car Racing, or go ahead and look for that online on the internet. There's a website. You guys, people are free to explore that. If you got any questions, hey, I got some answers.
Hey, those little cards that you made up, are those just like event cards to give out to people to let them know that that's going on?
Yeah, do you want some?
Yes, I do. I'll put them right on my desk.
Oh, fantastic. I've got a pack of 200 right here. And so I could give you, I don't know, 1 or 2 or
25, 30 of them. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll trade you. I'll trade you for some tickets to Mid-Ohio.
Damn.
I'm sure. That's just it. They usually pop up, So yeah, if they're available, they're yours.
Okay. No, that's fantastic. No, absolutely. I'll give you some of these. You are welcome to hand them out. Please do. We're going to post them around here and there. If my back was a little better, I'd be doing a little bit more of that at the moment, but you are a welcome liaison.
I will hook you up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get out of here at this break. Y'all take a few minutes to have a cigarette and do whatever you choose.
Yeah, I got to go back to work.
All right, Bob, take it easy.
Thank you.
All right, we're out of here.
Guess what I just found?
Oh,
Right
wait. Here, give it to me. But I know you're not on, but here, let me show you.
I just found it sitting next to me.
We're always on.
Put in Bay Road Races 52 to 63. Nice.
Carl Goodwin.
I mean, the whole book is full of this. And it's all this history and everything like that. And it's just, if mine is signed. So it's like, so Porsches and stuff like that. And there's you could just go through here, and it's just phenomenal stuff. It's like when they used to bring them off the old ferry.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
If you guys want to borrow the book, you could borrow the book for a little while.
Hey, I'm always up for some good reading.
Well, the history in this thing is just fantastic. Where you know that place?
Isn't that the gas station down by
or is that Joe's bar?
No, look at the place.
No,
You've
I
been in
think
there
that's the gas station that's
many
on
times.
the main road.
That's
Is
the
that
real
the-
bar.
That's a real bar, yeah.
That's the real bar back in the day. And where it says Tony's Place is the sign that sits up in the real bar.
Wow.
Damn.
So,
You can pick this book up on Amazon for $35.
probably, and help sponsor Carl, or you can borrow it from me. I don't know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get out of here.
All right.
We'll be back with the next block.
Talk to you soon.
It's Depression Rock, the great new double album from K-Tel, with classic hits like Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now, Girlfriend in a Coma, Dead Souls, Love Will Tear Us Apart, Why Can't I Be You, Never Enough, and The End of the World, with artists like The Smiths, The Cure, Marillion, Joy Division, Morrissey, and many, many more. Available on vinyl, cassette, and 8-track. The brand new album by K-Tel.
Thank you, KTEL, for sponsoring this section of our show.
Fuck yeah. I was just telling Burke I was gonna Twitch our show tonight, but they're
apparently we would violate some of their terms and services.
Apparently we're just too dark for them. Anyways, yeah. So we've talked about world news. We've talked about what do you have?
Couple recent things in the news here. Sean Evans of Hot Ones, which we did the Hot Ones challenge not too long ago, broke up with his adult film star girlfriend, and it wasn't the best timing because it was on Valentine's Day. Hot Ones host Sean Evans and porn star Melissa Stratton broke up less than 24 hours after their relationship made headlines. Sources close to TMZ said that Sean called her on Valentine's Day and broke up with her, telling her he wanted to call it quits because of the media attention they were getting. Kat, you are getting on my last nerve. Get out.
What the fuck?
And then
you never ever break up with a porn star. I dated one. Burke met
She was
her.
a dancer. She was not a porn star.
Oh,
And in other adult actresses news, and this one's much, much sadder. Adult film star Cagney Lynn Carter, who, according to friends, struggled with mental health, died of an apparent suicide last week. She was 36 years old. She died on Thursday in Ohio. According to online records, the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office received her body that day from an address in the city of Parma. So she had gone out to LA, done her movies, came back. She was doing, she had like a pole dancing studio, for whatever, for exercise and fun and all that kind of stuff, but had some issues and took her own life, and that was sad.
Dude, you were so negative.
It was local news, man. What do you want?
Holy hell, man! I brought Bob Kansa on.
I know, right? So did you say that you went and saw Madam Web?
Yes.
Man, like all I have seen, all plastered over media, is how bad that movie sucks. Like they're talking about. They are laughing at parts of the movie that are supposed to be serious, and the parts of the movie that are supposed to be comedy, they're dead silent. It's like you have these opposite reactions. They're trying to be funny. It sucks. They're trying to be dramatic, and it's funny as hell just because it's so bad.
It's so bad that there's actually a gentleman putting his own money in to try to take over Disney.
This is Sony more than Disney.
Oh.
This is Sony Marvel.
Oh, that's right. We'll just fix that in post.
They have the tomato meter says 13%. The audience score is 56, which is kind of surprising considering all the negative, all these people on social media are just like, don't bother. I want that hour and a half of my life back.
Man.
Damn. I'll wait for it to come on Disney Plus and watch it. I mean, well, I told you I watched the Marvels. I was like, this sucks. This is, I mean, like it's on par with Thor: The Dark World as the worst Marvel movie. This one apparently is going to beat that.
All right. Let's see here. fuck is his name?
Don't know. You search that and I'll tell you dad jokes. How's that?
Okay, go ahead.
What type of doctor treats transgender men?
Don't know.
Gynecologist.
Oh, God.
Actually, that's all I got. I got, you know what? We did that one episode where it was all like weird facts and stuff like that. I started looking up some of those. The Mall of America has its own zip code. That's how big that mall is. A butt is a real unit of measurement. Like when you say buttload, it's actually a real measurement. It's measuring a cask of wine. A buttload is about 108 imperial gallons of wine. And then this one was just so off the wall. Michael Crichton, the guy who wrote Jurassic Park, is taller than Michael Jordan. That's a tall dude.
Dude. Okay. In the last 6 hours, it was just made known that Sony is to take over Disney's new and existing home video business.
What does that mean?
Following the announcement that Disney Movie Club, a esoteric but essential Columbia House-like service that Disney ran for 2 decades, would be shutting down this summer, it has been revealed that Disney is transitioning its licenses to Sony.
Funky.
So, any of the old movies that you love to watch are going to be on Sony now.
Weird. So like Old Yeller, is that kind of stuff you're talking about? Like,
yeah,
that's bizarre.
Peter Pan, yeah. Disney's in trouble.
Yeah, they've been putting out crap movies for a year and a half.
So now the old Disney movies are going to be on Sony, which means Disney is not making money off of them anymore. Sony has put out a lump sum of money to own those titles. Oh, I saw something in the news the other day about a stakeholder with Disney, and I can't find the freaking article where he's kind of done with the way the business is running. And he's sinking money in to try to take over Disney and turn it back to what it was before they got woke.
Just put directors who read the fucking comics in charge of the movies. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. Like you get a guy like James Gunn. He's got issues, whatever, but he loved the comics, and it showed. You know, Jon Favreau loved the comics, and it shows. It's like, get some people who care about the source material to do your movies. It's like, it's how hard is that? I'll do it.
All right. His name is Nelson Peltz. And Peltz's active firm Trian Fund Management has increased its stake in Disney to about 30 million shares, valued roughly at $2.5 billion.
Well, he is an American billionaire businessman and investor. Founding partners, blah, blah, blah. He's a non-executive chairman of Wendy's, Cisco, Madison Square Garden, former director of Heinz Company, and Ingersoll Rand. So this guy kind of knows what he's doing.
Yeah. And he's got cash. So the move comes less than a year after Peltz dropped his initial proxy fight to take over Disney. But with Disney stock dropping like it's dropping, originally when he started the takeover, stock was at 180 a share. Right now it's at 100.
Oh, jeez.
So
maybe we'll get some new management. I would not be opposed to that at all.
Have no clue what's going to happen here. The guy spent a ton of money to get to where he's at now. Usually when you have a businessman that sinks that much money into something, he's going to get something out of it.
He might have an actual plan that might actually work.
So he is pushing for the entire board to be basically deconstructed and to start anew. But
like I say, their problems are small. They just need to. Just make good movies. You dominated cinema for a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just do what you did back then, and do it again. You know the formula. Fucking do it. Like, what did we do there? We did this. Do that again. Great. Oh God.
What people are starting to realize is that wokeism, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter.
Doesn't make money.
A lower percentage of the people that spend money on you. Ladies and gentlemen, a prime example would be Anheuser-Busch with their Bud Light
Folks thing. Person. I mean, sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Did you notice Bud Light sponsored the Super Bowl
with football guys, I think. Huh. Funny. Like your target audience. What a concept.
I mean, we all have wokeism in us with certain things.
It's okay to be accepting, but don't dwell on it. Just be acceptant. Yeah, be accepting. Throw in a commercial of whatever.
How many? How many companies in the past 4 years have literally tanked their stock by going to a place? You know what?
Drunk Scott is getting up on his soapbox now. Let's hear it.
How the fuck do I explain this? I have a lot of gay friends.
And they're great.
They're
Love them to death.
fucking wonderful. I'd hang out with them every fucking day. That's 10% of the population. Don't piss off the other 80% or 90% of the people. They will quit buying your shit. And guess what? You'd be stranded. You'd be
broke.
Disney, let's go woke. You dumbass motherfuckers. 3/4 of the people that are coming to your park are blue-collar workers with families.
Why don't we pander to them?
Oh my God.
What's the percentage of people going to Marvel movies?
Dude.
Cis males? Is that the major percentage? Probably. I mean, I'm just spitballing here. I don't know the numbers. I'm taking a guess.
That's a good guess. If I ran my business like this,
You'd be living in a cardboard box 15 years ago.
Ooh, I'd be on Social Security right now. What the fuck did I do? I was stupid.
Stupid.
I'm stupid, man. Holy shit. Oh my God. And Bob Iger. I love the guy. I do. He's advocate for gay marriage. He's advocate for gay rights. I'm an advocate for gay rights and gay marriage. I'm not going to do something stupid to make my fucking stock drop half. Oh, just vote Elon Musk and just be over it. Elon.
Like your golf course that shall not be named is not going to paint their golf carts pink. They're going to play to their audience.
The Voldemort golf course will have blue or black carts. Thank you.
The way it is.
Fabulous. Hello.
We're gonna play with our balls now. That's a long shaft you got there, buddy.
I got some pink balls. Let's go play. Dude, just the idiotic. I don't. Maybe it was COVID. Maybe it was COVID and Trump at the same time that caused people to sit back and go, well, we could be stupid now.
I'm not going to confirm or deny that, but I might agree with it a little bit. They had too much time in their hands. They sat there and thought way too much. And when groups of people sit there and think too much, bad shit happens.
Guys, when I have time, I sit on my couch and whack off. I don't sit on my couch and fucking change the entire meaning of my company so that it's going to make no money. What the fuck are you doing? Hey, let's put Bob Iger back in. They're doing well then. Oh my God, dude. Hire Michael Strahan, football player. He'll run your business better than Bob Iger. What the fuck, man? I went to college.
You did do some learning.
You went to college.
That did me a little learning.
A little bit. Out of all the business classes that I took, I was taught to not fuck with your customers.
Don't fuck with the techies. Don't fuck with the consumer. It's really simple.
God, that's a great line. Never fuck with the techies. They will fuck with your show like you wouldn't believe.
And you would know you were the techie.
I taped many extension cords to poles.
You lit Chaka Khan in green and purple, didn't you?
Fucking Chaka Khan. I want green, yellow, or red, or blue for that matter. Oh, well, you just took away the primary colors of lighting. Don't
That's
know
how we
what
make
to do.
white, dumbass.
Fucking bitch. It was her production manager. Okay, I'll deal with that.
You want to do a little bit of Did You Know?
Sure. I'm drunk. I can do it.
Okay. Did you know
No.
that the Night of the Living Dead director George A. Romero got his start making short films for Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
You're shitting me.
I shit you not. Well, Cameron used to do freaking cartoons. It was the Banana Splits. One of the live action Banana Splits bits was Cameron, who ended up doing Titanic and all those other ones.
Damn.
All right. Did you know Alaska is both the most eastern and western state in the United States? Because the Aleutian Islands cross the 108th meridian, or the anti-meridian. So it's like in the other time zone. It is literally that break in the world of here's east, here's west. Alaska spans both of those. So it is the most eastern and most western part of the entire United States.
You are absolutely blowing my ass away.
Bones found at Seymour Island indicate that 37 to 40 million years ago, penguins stood at a formidable 6 feet tall and weighed 250 pounds.
Hold on.
I outweigh penguins.
Where the hell is this?
Seymour Island. I do not know where Seymour Island is, but I can look that up if you need. Island in the Antarctic. They found fossils of penguins that were 6 foot tall and probably weighed 260 pounds, 250 pounds. Well, you know, sloths used to be gigantic, right?
No.
Oh, dude, you should look up sloths back in, I can't remember which era. They were monsters. They were literal monsters. They actually took that and put that into the last Fallout, I think, because they stood like 18 to 20 feet tall. They were monsters. All right, Scott, did you know?
Hold on.
Prehistoric sloths.
How big were they?
The penguins supposedly were 6 foot tall and 250 pounds.
I have something that's bigger.
Your ego.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Attention, Engine 44, Engine 3, Engine 6, Truck 3, Truck 19, Battalion 1, Battalion 3. One alarm fire at the State Ferry, 1100 to 1198 First Avenue, box 060008. Big text is on fire. Engine 44, going to big text. 777 on channel 1. 777, go ahead. Advised, I'm en route over here to Big Tex. There's a large column of black smoke. 777 is out at Big Tex. Got a rather tall cowboy. All his clothes burned off. 777 out. Rather tall cowboy with all his clothes burned off at 10:31. Engine 6 out. Big Tex on fire. On fire. Howdy, folks. It's hot. 19's out. Big Tex is gone.
We gone.
Truck 19 out at 10:32. Big Tex is gone.
Friends and neighbors, we are here today to pay tribute to the remains of a man who entertained us for many years. Can I get amen? Amen. We are here today to say goodbye to Big Tex. Big Tex loved the children. He loved adults. Man loved all races. He entertained us all the way up to his untimely combustion. For you see, he was pronounced dead by the Dallas Fire Department on October 19th at 10:32 a.m. His head caught fire around 10:15 this morning, quickly spared and then burned him naked.
Okay, sorry. That was something that was bigger, man. That was Big Tex.
Big Tex and the Sloths are about the same size. The big Sloths Tex was bigger. The Sloths were only shoulder height of 6 foot 11 inches. They weighed in around 8,400 pounds.
That is taller than you.
Oh yeah, that's 7 foot. Yeah.
Not quite as round, but
dude, they weighed 8,400 to 10,000 pounds. They were big. All right, Scott. Did you know that coyotes outpace roadrunners by 23 miles an hour?
Not at my golf course. They lay in the fucking fairway and just sit there.
We were lied to by our cartoons, man. That's messed up. F. Scott Fitzgerald's full name,
yes,
is Francis Scott Key Fitzgerald, named after his distant relative, Francis Scott Key, who wrote the words to the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm always amazed at all the people that are related to other people.
Why is this pertinent?
It is not. This is useless trivia. Fuck. Did you know?
I got another 20 minutes of this shit to go through.
That the boiling point for water at the top of Mount Everest is only 162 degrees.
Holy shit. Hold on. That's news.
It's about 50 degrees below the boiling point at sea level. Don't have to use as much gas.
Emotional damage.
Hit the wrong button. Sorry.
Did you know Canada eats more macaroni and cheese than any other nation in the world?
Really?
Which makes sense when we listen to the one B&L song where they're talking about, mac and cheese.
Nothing like a bit of girl on girl.
Go ahead.
Did you know that Iceland has an incest app that stops you from hooking up with your cousins?
Nothing like a bit of girl on girl.
I think they should probably do that for Mississippi.
West Virginia.
And did you know?
No, I didn't.
There is a plant that consumes rats in the Philippines. Scientists discovered this rat-eating pitcher plant in the Philippines in 2009. That's a big plant.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
Oh my God. I don't know what was more brutal tonight. Okay.
I'd ask you the IQ questions. You're in no condition. You'll never get any of these.
No.
Okay, so just on a random note, I have a YouTube channel that I follow, which is completely off base of any other YouTube channel. Have you ever seen the Hoof GP?
I watch him constantly.
I love that. It's an Irish guy who does nothing but hooves on cows, and it is fascinating. I think the allure is the damn voice. He's like, I'm going to take this cow and make her so much more comfortable. It's like you're lulled in by the voice. You've got the like pimple popping
Hey,
stuff.
see the driver's license. I don't have one. Why not? What's okay? Hey, see the driver's license. I don't have one.
What would you like for breakfast today?
Oh, sorry.
Masala fried egg. Hello and welcome to Lazy Girl Masala fried egg. Get your pan really hot or your eggs will stick. Oil is dry. Mini spoon for your mini.
Seen this gal.
Okay.
What you got?
Hey.
You're trying to find something, I can tell.
Yeah, keep talking.
I got
nothing, man.
I got nothing. I have this really cool picture of
what?
The entire United States and Alaska that shows where damaging earthquakes could appear. Obviously, most of southern Alaska, everything along the Aleutians, Washington State, all of California. But the really bizarre thing is there is this little piece right in the middle of the United States. Let's see, that's Ohio, Illinois. What's next to Illinois? There's this little thing right in the middle, like Tennessee and Missouri and I don't understand this little red spot right in the. You know what? You want to flip over? So, oh wait, I can probably do that, can't I? Share screen.
You should
share
be
that.
able to.
I should be able to that.
Okay.
What is that little spot right there? Why is that like, I know we have had good earthquakes in Ohio, but why the hell is there this little spot right above? It's like near Texas, and it's like, what is that? Why is that one there? I don't get that one.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. And I don't know how to unshare now.
It's okay. I'll take care of it.
Oh, wait. Stop share. There we go. There you are.
All right. I just need you to listen.
I'm in.
Actually, I'll share the whole thing.
Okay.
I'm
game. I love this dude.
Have you watched him?
Oh, God, yeah. I love this dude.
Oh. Hang on, people. I'm having
technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
Nobody's ever said that in the history.
All right. Is this the one? No.
To attack you with drones. That's fine. We're going to counter your drones with our technology. Well, we're going to send more drones then. Way more. We're going to counter your even more drones with laser beams. We're going to send our drones after your boats. You're going to send them after what? No, for the love of God, don't send them after the boats. Do not touch the United States of America's boats. Yeah, man, you really do not want to go after the United States of America's boats. They're real weird about their boats. Touch my boats at your own peril. Oh my, you're bombing like hundreds of targets. What are you doing? You threatened to touch my boats. Nobody touches my boats. Yeah, we told you. We told you don't go after the boats. And here we are. You're ramping them up. You're getting them all riled up. We just tried desperately to keep them calm. Okay? Because the next step is them telling their troops they can't have any caffeine, and then they unleash hell upon you. No caffeine, no Geneva Conventions. We're going to attack you with drones. That's fine. We're going to counter your drones with our technology. We're going to send more drones then. Hey, you know how
I have
I love that dude.
all fucking day watched this shit. And almost half of his videos are about the boats. Don't touch the boats.
He's got the little Japanese flag above his head. Don't touch the boats. You don't want to touch the boats. And he's got a little German flag above him. Yeah, we try to calm him down, man. Don't touch the boats.
This guy,
he's just a great, like, the real life of the stupidity of the military, and he's so funny. Oh my god.
What's his channel on TikTok? He is Mandatory Fun Day. And
U.S. military isn't that powerful. Of the 10 largest air forces in the world, the U.S. has 4 of them. China would be able to overrun the United States military. China struggles to operate within its own borders, and the U.S. has like over 10 aircraft carriers capable of delivering more combat power than many developed nations. Russia would obliterate the U.S. from afar using their long-range fire. The U.S. has more effective combat power on Fort Cavazos alone than all of what Russia can muster. North Korea and Iran could defeat the United States military. The United States Army can put boots on the ground anywhere in the world in 24 hours. And both of the countries that you listed not only can't do that, one of them can barely feed its troops. You just believe in U.S. propaganda. I don't see anybody trying it. The U.S. military isn't that.
Oh my god.
I can't find him on Instagram, but he's on Instagram and YouTube Reels too. He is hilarious. Oh my god.
Absolutely hilarious. He actually had a spot that he did where the U.S. got attacked on their boats, and Canada was like, we annihilated people in the 30s. You don't want this. What the fuck are you doing?
What were you thinking?
Absolutely insane. I love that guy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a long night, and Scott's
it's been
hammered.
good fun. Yeah, Scott's hammered, getting skippy and loopy. It's getting late.
Yeah,
we had a good time. We're gonna end it here on a high note.
Wait. Oh. There's a vamp. It's a
Good
vamp. DavisandDavisShow.com
and the DavisandDavisShow.com for some awesome merchandise. Check it out.
I'm gonna go back and whack off. Y'all have a good day.
Good luck with that.